Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And
And
we are here to rant and rave.
Still, every time we do it, I think that was perfect. We nailed it. And every time I edit, I go, we could not be. It's like we were raised in two different barns and then decided to scream through the window sings at each other. Also, did you notice my lazy title last week? I was so tired, y'all.
I don't find it lazy. I find it hilarious.
I just named the episode last week Lots of Singing. But why, though? Like, nothing about our show.
Let me make you feel better. I
Okay.
noticed we both seem to kind of be whispering like we used to
A little
do way
bit.
back when.
Yeah.
You have a child trying to go to sleep at this point, and Alan already texted me and said, just a reminder, it's evening now, so you don't need to be as loud.
We're both gonna get in trouble. While we're telling secrets.
Yes.
Dan Tipton just walked behind me, so I have to be careful. Because you guys, he doesn't listen to this. That's the only reason I feel safe saying it.
Okay.
Oh, he's in the kitchen right there. Yesterday when we started to record and I had to stop, I was late to pick up Lucy. Lucy was at the groomers, and I got pulled over by a cop.
Oh, no.
But she was
fast.
55 and a 35. But she was real nice and let me go.
I love that he's walking by like, is he looking at you?
Yes.
Is he watching?
Fucking creepy. He's staring at me.
Does he realize that you can see him? Hi, Dan.
Yeah, he just waved at you.
I'm dead. This is Alan's.
Oh, he didn't hear me, and he never will.
Oh my God. This is Alan's exact text. Remember, it's late, so keep the shriek laughs to a dull scream.
Shriek
Oh my
laughs.
God!
Is he there?
We say it. I'm not even talking loud, and I just heard him in the background elsewhere in our apartment go, that's right.
You know what the title of this episode is?
Surveillance in my own home.
Well, that's very nice because I was going to title it episode 174, Our Husbands Are Creeps. Because that's happening. Oh, he left. And I'm saying, just let us live. Just let us be who we are.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I just got a text and I got scared. I thought it was him.
Who, Alan, saying I can hear you too? Probably has a tin can with string hooked up to your back porch. Doing Morse code with Ollie or something.
Oh my God. He and Ollie are going to get ready to go into battle. Okay. We're actually doing a show here. Jessica.
We are. You guys, you would never know it. I am, as usual, I have to do my daily keep my display open so it doesn't time out every 30 seconds. So now we're back.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? We don't need to delay in telling you how to get a hold of us. Okay. We love all the messages that we can get from you guys. So for once, I'll tell you at the top of the show before we start talking about anything. If you would like to reach out, follow, give a suggestion, send a message. Do so at the Rants and Raves podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us on TikTok at the Rants and Raves P. You can go to our YouTube channel at the Rants and Raves podcast. You can subscribe. We have shorts. We have full length videos of our show. You can
Mhm.
always send an email to the Rants and Raves podcast at gmail.com. And last but not least, you can go to our website, hit the contact button, www.theransomerravespodcast.com. I feel like I was just talking in a slow motion filter.
You're so funny. You sound so professional when you do it. I can't do
That's
that. That's why it's always up to you because my mouth trips over itself.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you I was briefly, and by brief I mean one summer, I was a DJ on my college radio station. I had a show with my dear friend Jonathan Yukich, who is a working playwright in New York City. He and I had a
Was
radio show
that,
from midnight till 6 a.m.
oh my God, was that not something you wanted to pursue? Because you have an amazing voice.
You're very sweet. You know what? I always wanted to work in radio, and I don't know why I didn't pursue it. I'm serious
Yeah.
because I'm a big radio listener. I listen to a lot of NPR and I listen to a lot of talk radio. I loved
Yeah.
on my morning commute. I would listen to morning shows, and I'd always be like, "God, I'd like to be, like Kevin and Bean or something like that, like a show
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
listened to on K Rock for years."
I have a girlfriend I went to college with. Her name is Dawn. And she was a local, when we were in college, she was a local
Mm-hmm.
DJ. And years, she just went up. She was the head of the morning show, all that. And
Amazing.
now she moved to Indianapolis. She was on a popular show there. And she just recently, she's getting ready to start her own show.
That's so cool.
I know. She's always doing something fun, man. They go on paranormal investigations, which if
Oh,
yeah, which
you
you know your husband and I are already that's in the works.
I know. And the next time did you say she's back in Missouri?
She's in Indianapolis.
Oh, Indianapolis now. Sorry. I was going to say,
Yeah.
you should say, can I come along for a paranormal investigation?
Ugh, I know. I would love it, but that's all right. I'll have to wait for Alan.
I know. Alan can't wait. He's like, did you want to go with Dana and I? I'm like, absolutely not. I'm like, you guys have fun.
Absolutely.
You
That
find
would
your
be that's Dan
ghosts.
Tipton. That's
Hmm.
Dan Tipton too. Yeah. No interest. I can't wait. I can't wait. How was
I
your week?
love it. Fine. Yeah, I don't think anything to see. This is how I am lately. I'm like, I don't remember a darn thing I did, and I really mean that.
Yeah. The only thing I know is that neither one of us have been able to sleep this week.
Yes, we have both been sending
We've
each other
both been seeing
messages in the
each
wee
other at like
hours.
2 in the morning.
Well, you know what I've found too? I'm serious that I feel like I'm sleeping harder than I normally do. And
Mm,
then when I'm waking up, I feel like a train has hit me, and I'm like,
like
why
it's
am I so
harder to wake
tired?
up.
Where legit it's taking me a full hour. I mean, a full hour, like standing up, getting out of bed an hour later, finally feeling somewhat awake. And
Mm.
that's annoying.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I'd love for you to go to the doctor and see about doing a sleep study. Okay, off my soapbox. Sorry about it. Sorry about it. You
Ugh.
walked into it. You walked into it,
I
but I
did.
kept
I
it real
did. I did.
subtle. You didn't see it
Oh
coming,
my
did you? Because I was so
God. I
positive. I
didn't.
was like, "Can I
It
ask you
is.
something? Can I make a
No.
suggestion?"
Your spidey sense kicked up because I'm going to the doctor tomorrow to get my blood work so that we can talk about it at my appointment next week. So there you go.
I am very proud of
TMI.
you. You're going to get a text from Alan for that one. You just screamed TMI so loud you woke up your neighbors.
And you know what? My new neighbors are sweet, so I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't have
well, I
anything to
know,
report this week.
except that by the time this episode comes out, your first episode of your show will be out. Let's talk about
That's
that because that is
true. Thank
very
you.
exciting.
Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, my children's
Yes.
show. Now listen, this podcast is certainly not made for children. We've already had a red
No.
flag on YouTube. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of I kind of feel cool about it. I'm like, "We got red
Right?
flags." A little bit.
Like back in the day when they did the parental advisory warning.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Well, this is completely the opposite. Zinnia's Garden is a children's show that our friend Candace Brown and I created together. She was inspired by my plant journey. You all know I'm so
Mhm.
obsessed with my plants. She was inspired to create it using me as Zinnia Bloom. It's very Sesame Street meets Mr. Rogers meets plants.
I
It's all
love
about
it.
teaching kids about kindness and taking care of our planet and curiosity and nurturing and all of those sorts of things. Just a real good feel good family
Yes.
entertainment kind of thing. So every Saturday we'll put out some new content. We're putting out shorts and stuff leading up to Earth Day is our premiere.
I love that. Thank you. And that was
Thanks.
very serendipitous. If you saw the spasm I just had, a
I did.
moth keeps flying around, and I'm just trying to pretend like it's not there, but it literally flew right up me face in between my
Nature.
glasses.
That's
And
nature.
there we go. We
That's
we we see
nature.
you.
You know what? I'll be honest, I'll tell this story and then we'll move into our rants.
Sure.
I this week was out. I was getting very overwhelmed with some things going on in my life, and I finally
Mhm.
just threw my hands up and went, "You know what? It's spring. I've got plant work to do." I repotted like 12 plants. Oh my god,
Mm.
it was like meditation. I just my blood pressure I could tell even came down. I just felt so good about it.
Yes.
And then now I love seeing my little planties so happy in their new pots and it's
Totally.
springtime so they're just like, "Yay!"
I love
So
it.
anyway, uh, I don't know if I've talked about how my plant journey helped me with grieving my mom because I lost
Mhm.
my mama right at the beginning of the pandemic. And so
Yeah.
everything about her loss was very weird. We never got to grieve her properly.
Mhm.
Um, and it was really hard for us to process her loss during a worldwide upheaval.
Right.
Um, and so, my plants rescued me. They really did, and they've made me feel close to her because she loved plants, but she killed
Mhm.
everything. All of us have killed everything. She would have like a shamrock is real hardy, so we had a shamrock the whole
Mhm.
time I was growing up, the same one. She never
Right.
moved it, and it just would die and come back and die and come back.
Hilarious.
And we would laugh about how we could not keep any plants alive. And
Mhm.
when I lost her, I decided I was going to keep some plants alive to
Mhm.
feel that connection with her. And now, of course, you
Yeah.
guys, I'm crazy. I have over 200. I mean, I'm living in a jungle, but I
She
love
ain't
it. I
lying.
love it.
I love
But I
it.
love it. It just brings me peace and happiness. And so, anyway, thanks for asking
I
me.
love that. That's very special. Yes. I always picture whenever you talk about that, about your mom and gardening, I picture that awesome picture you have of her where she's holding that, like the American Gothic
Shovel.
pitchfork, I
I know,
believe, or a
right? She
shovel,
was out
right?
there. She was out there, trying to get some bulbs going for spring,
I
and she had
love
her
it.
little hat, her little gardening hat on, and yeah, it was so
Aw.
cute. But
Well,
boy,
you
she just
inspired.
murdered every plant she ever had.
You know what? You inspired me when you put up your pictures of your beautiful plants. I was like, I've been meaning to go get more soil. I have a cactus that's kind of rotting. I'm like, I got to repot it. And little tip, at least from the lady at the nursery, I go, I just bought cactus and succulent soil because I'm going to repot some stuff, but what should I do? I have a monstera that has stayed alive, is totally healthy, but just is not getting bigger. It's just stayed at the same size for like a year. No joke.
Mhm.
And she said, "Oh, use that cactus soil you just got." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "I do that for all my house plants. It really also cuts down on the whatever those little gnats are that form in house
Yeah.
plants."
Mhm.
So I was like,
Yeah,
"Great." Now I'm still staring at the poor thing right now. I haven't
I
transplanted
know.
it yet,
My
but
t I have to repot my 2 monsteras. They are, three and a
yours are
half feet.
huge.
They're huge, yeah, but they got knocked over, one of them, and so they're very unhappy, and I'm just like,
Ah,
I'm gonna refresh their soil. So a lot of my plants are now coming up
mhm.
on 2 and 3 years old, and so
Amazing. It's
So
very
it's time
impressive.
to thank you. So it's time to refresh the soil because I want good
Mm-hmm.
nutrients in their soil, and it's a good time of year. It's
Yeah.
spring. This is when they're really going to grow. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Love
But but
it.
please, if you have kids, if you have grandkids, if you know people who have kids,
Yes.
please push me on them.
Oh, yes. And we will be putting up when that episode airs, which is on Earth Day, and you can follow along on social media
Yeah,
at
you can
Zinnia's
find
Garden.
us
Yes.
at on
Or no.
Instagram. You know how people know because it's not available. I feel sorry for our children coming up that have to find social media handles because there's so
I
many
know.
people that when the internet and
I
Instagram and
know.
all that started, they took
It's
handles.
nuts.
So like Zinnia's gone, Zinnia Blooms, Zinnia's Garden, all the Zinnias are gone.
Hmm.
So if you want to find us on Instagram, we're at Ask Zinnia, and you can find us that way on YouTube as well.
Great.
All the
Ask
socials.
Zinnia. I
Yeah.
love it.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank
Oh.
you. It's what we all need
Um,
now.
it's really a bright ray
It
of light. I
is.
would say it's probably one of the only times that I've watched something of myself and not seen Dana, where I've watched it and just loved it and not critiqued her body or her
Oh.
hair or how she's sitting or how she said
Uh-huh.
something. She's just beautiful to me. She's just a
I
ray of
love that so
sunshine.
much.
Yeah, I just love it. I love it.
As are you, my friend. It's
Aw,
perfect.
thanks, Jess. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Should we stop
Now
this love fest and get on into our
well,
rants?
now I feel bad, but at least this isn't something. I mean, you know what? I shouldn't say that. You're the one who's always like, most of these aren't important. Well, I think this is important, and I'd be angry about this too. So take it away.
All right. All right. You want me to go first? Am I up first?
I think you are, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, get ready for Dana's face to go crazy because this is your husband's fault, by the way. I was just living my life, having a good time over here in my jungle. I just fed my kid, maybe he was down. I don't remember the time of day because I was thrown into so much shock that I don't remember the time of day that I received this message. I go on my Instagram where I go there in TikTok for happiness. I have curated my feed to
Uh-huh.
be some of the news I need to know so I'm not an ignorant maniac,
Right.
but mostly happies, right? I go into my
Hmm.
messages. I'm like, Alan, great. Must be something medieval, something to do with foraging, Vikings or Norse mythology, something, right? No. I open that up. It's a human hand like this, splayed so it can look at how cute my nails are. Well, let me tell you what was on that woman's nails full blown lava lamps, about 3 inches long, the tip of each finger, unacceptable. And then to make it even worse, just to put a log in my eye, he says, rant or rave? To quote a wise woman I know, excuse me? Absolute rant. Hell no. You all know I keep my nails. Look at that. If you're watching on video, they are nubby nubs. Nubby nubs. You want me
You're
to tell
like
you
me.
why? I cannot handle whatever gets underneath them. I can't handle it on
Hmm.
other people. I can't. All I think about when I see long nails is how dirty it is under there. I can't deal with it. Don't you dare put working lava lamps on the end of your fingers. How you going to wipe your poo-poos? I said, somebody's going to get an unwanted butt plug up there and then come out with nasty brown lava lamps. What in the world are you thinking?
Cannot. I always think
What?
about how if my nails are even like an eighth of an inch past my fingertip, I manage to scratch myself or jam them, split them. I can't deal. I've never wanted nails, long ones,
Let alone a full blown working lava lamp?
and they glow
What?
in the dark.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Well, you wouldn't see it because they're going to fall up inside your butthole and be so dirty you won't be able to see them glowing. I'm sorry. It's inappropriate to talk this way, but it has to be said. This stuff is out there. This stuff exists in the world. This was on social media. It has to be addressed.
There are so many gross nail arts that I see with objects and things added to it that are
What do you
absolutely
charms,
disgusting.
charms, charms on
Yes,
the end of things. You that is nothing but a way station for nasties. They're
I
like, I
hate
can't
it.
wait to live here. Can't wait. We're going to go all over. We're going to touch things. She's going to eat and we're going to get to see her pores. No, it's unacceptable. I don't know why you're not more upset. Yeah.
It's because I hate all long nails. I'm telling you, I do stare at people's nails constantly where I'm like, how do you even just have your plain nails that are long, let alone these ridiculous ones?
I know they look cool. Like, especially, everybody started doing the claws,
Look
the sharp,
cool.
the claws. I'm like,
I
I get
the
it. It's a vibe.
stiletto nail, I hate it. I
Yeah,
hate
I
it.
can't. I do too. And I feel bad because we have friends that do it. But
Well, I don't feel bad.
all I think
I'll
is
tell them.
dirty. Ooh, dirty. You don't know what's up
Yes.
there. And let me be not safe for work again one more time. I'm sorry. We're all grown adults.
Oh
Uh,
my god,
our
not safe
Sarah,
for work.
Sarah, if your daughters are listening, please plug their ears. I'm gonna say this out loud, okay? Because I said it needs to be addressed. If you have ever seen porn,
Oh,
those women, especially lesbian porn, those women have
okay.
nails this long and they be going all up inside each other. What's coming out? Because those are just shovels. What is
Dana!
coming? I'm sorry. It has to be said. Because these people are not thinking about that. They're like, look, I'm so cute. No, they're shovels. And whatever you're sticking your fingers in, you're shoveling up what's in there. I don't know how anybody can watch it and not be disgusted. What? Have I surprised you?
Yes!
Your husband sent it to me.
I am dying right now.
Should I edit that? We're all grown adults. You can't tell me that everybody hasn't somewhere in their life had some jerk of a guy friend. Maybe it's just because we came up in comedy, but I've been shown so much porn that you wouldn't believe it.
Trust me, I've seen my share.
Okay, then you
I
know
don't
what
know
I
why
mean.
I'm qualifying that, quantifying that. What is the word even?
I don't know, but I'm not the one who came up with digit shovels, okay? So I'm not in the wrong here.
Digit shovel. It's disgusting.
Thank you for finally getting on my page. Rant over. Should I edit
Why?
that?
No.
Dan Tipton just yelled, digit shovels?
What is he saying? What's he saying?
Oh, you're getting a text. You're getting a text. And you know
Oh
what?
shit.
This is how I want you to respond. I'm sorry, but this scream laugh was because of you. It's your fault. Dana said so.
Oh
such a
my
such a gentleman.
god.
I said to myself, but probably out loud, I was so upset. He knows this is not a rave.
He might
I
have
mean,
wanted
I'm
it to
not
be.
even if it doesn't even have to be lesbian porn. It could be hands and a penis
Uh-huh.
up and down. Ooh, knives. Knives! What are you doing letting 10 little knives near your penis?
I cannot.
We gotta move on. We gotta
I
move
really,
on.
really cannot. You guys,
Flush.
this this is what happens when we record in the evening instead of the daytime before the day has taken the best of us and
No
had its way.
composure. no filter.
None.
I made
Absolutely
myself
none.
I made myself blush.
Hilarious. She literally is as rosy as Lady Elaine right now
I
from Fred Rogers' Neighborhood.
She was
Me
terrible.
too. Me too. Me too. I know. And that god awful hair that's like, it seems like somebody tried to style it and then they cut it too short and it was like, well, we got to go.
Yes.
We're live. And they just started
You
rolling and then it was too
you know
late. She
what?
was in the
I call
pilot, so they couldn't
They
change it.
had to keep her, and I call that thrift store baby doll hair. Do you know what
Oh
I
my
mean when
God.
I say
100.
that?
Yes. From all the
Because I
kids that
had
decided to play hairdresser with their dolls.
or tried to curl it and melted it. Someone we know may have done that. Tried to
Oh
cut
my
it.
God.
Like,
Do you
yes.
remember those heads that they had that had yarn come out? It was like Barbie, and you like had this crank, and it would like the yarn
It would
came down
grow?
like this. Yeah.
No. I
Well,
did
guess what? There's
have
only so much yarn, so I used that shit up the
oh,
first night I got it. My
no,
mom's
and
like, "Well,
I bet they paid a fortune for it in those
yeah,
times.
there was no refills for it." It's like, "Oh well."
What a demoralizing present for a child.
I'm
And the
telling you, it was
only
like a
thing you
big
got back
thing.
and the only thing you got for it was, "Well, then you'll learn how to sparingly use the stuff we get you, won't you?" Like, that was the
Uh
lesson.
That also happened with my Cabbage Patch. I said I need more diapers for Scott. That was my doll's name, Scott.
Cute. Mhm.
And I did send off to have him renamed with Babyland General because I didn't like the name he came with.
Are you joking?
No, my two favorite names for boys when I got my Cabbage Patch were Scott and Nicholas. So his name was Scott Nicholas.
What
And
did
they
he
sent a
come
new
name?
birth
What was his
certificate.
given name? What was his given
Carl.
name?
Carl.
Well, well,
Okay.
I'll let you off the hook. Yeah. I had Stacy, but my sister had Tristan, which I thought was such a cool
Oh.
name.
Well, that
But
was
I
like
did
a
love my
hip,
cabbage.
different name.
It
No, I
was
went to my
very
mom and
different.
I'm like, I need more diapers. She's like, for what? I'm like, for Scott. She's like, I'm sorry. She's like,
Wait,
I bought
what
you.
did she have to clarify though? Like you just wanted them for yourself. She's like, "For what? Please just use the potty, Jessica."
She had bought me a huge thing of them. She's like, I don't understand. I bought you a huge package of them. I said, well, he's gone through them. And she said, well, he's a doll. So you're going to have to change him like once a day and just pretend.
He's gone through them.
She's not wrong. I
She's
was
not
changing him
wrong.
like 12 times a day and
Of
throwing
course.
out diapers that, as we all know, were not exactly dirty
Yeah.
because it was a doll. And I knew it was a doll, but I was still trying to be real.
You were trying to be a good mother and I applaud you.
Hmm. Well, you know what, Dana?
Hmm.
Only a good mother would have gotten this for her daughter in the 80s. Are you ready
Oh
for my
no, I
rap?
know what's coming. I know what's coming. Okay.
Sacred movement in motion. That's you. Showing the world what you can do. Get in shape, girl. You love the feeling. Get in shape, girl is a complete
Get in
exercise
shape,
program for
girl.
girls. Next exercise.
You're so
Keep pace
appealing.
with Bangle Bob's weighted bracelets. Get in shape, girl. And movement in motion, rhythmic ball and ribbon. Get in shape, girl. From Hasbro.
From Hasbro. I'm sorry. I don't know if you caught the part of what it comes with because in the commercial they make it look fun and like you're
Yeah.
gonna be like Mary Lou Retton using your gymnastics ribbon to just swirl around like you're a drum major or something.
Yeah.
It was a workout
Workout.
kit under the
Yes.
guise of a Hasbro cool toy for young girls called Get in
Uh,
Shape Girl.
and it said in the song, "It will make you appealing." Did
Yes,
you
and
notice
it
those
also comes
lyrics?
with, oh yes, you're so appealing.
Yes.
It comes with weighted bracelets.
Yep. Yep. Leg
I
warmers,
remember
all that.
that shit. Oh my
Oh,
God.
I lived in fear that my mother was going to get me that because I've told you
Uh,
before, like there were times
100%.
I got like weight loss pills and lotions and stuff for my birthday from some family members. So I was like, please don't get me that. Please don't get me that. Please. Because I knew it would open a conversation of you need to
Hmm.
work out because you're fat.
I'm going to tell you that I was the recipient, just to make you feel better, of
Mm,
Deal-A-Meal. I received that in the mail. I did not order it for
no.
myself. Uh-huh.
From a family member?
Richard Simmons Deal-A-Meal. Uh-huh.
Yeah. From a family
Mm-hmm.
member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys,
Get
don't get your
in
kids.
shape, girl. Hulk smash, girl. Like,
Yeah. Well,
okay.
that's why you and I have talked about this offline so many times about how this younger generation of women they're so lucky. Like they all buy the same
Yes.
bikini and go to the beach together and they're all different sizes, all different
Yep.
body types. They don't care. They celebrate each other.
Uh-huh.
That is not the world that we grew up in.
Not even kind of. And as a matter of fact, most of the time I opted to not be in any bathing suit.
Oh, for sure. I told you, we've both talked about for years and years and years, decades I
Yep.
didn't swim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we faced, and it was because we were given weight loss things for holidays. We were given toys that were meant to make us appealing because women have to be pretty and acceptable and wear tutus. Why didn't, where was the doctor's lab coat? Where was that toy?
Okay.
Where was the
Right.
toy telling me I could be an astronaut? And granted, I use the term I as a general label because everyone knows I'm not smart enough to be an astronaut, but some of you might have been.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nowadays, it's like
Yes.
Barbie has the line of professional women, like toys are different now, but that was targeted. How old were we? I want to
Yep.
say it was targeted to girls between like
Middle
6 and
school.
11. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
older.
We were
Yeah.
like 10 or 11 when it came out.
Yes, and that's who the
Mm-hmm.
target demographic was, already implanting in our
Tweens.
minds
Tweens.
that we were not acceptable as our bodies were and we needed to work on it because it's fun and we will be appealing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the message being sent to us because our
Yes.
bodies as they were not acceptable.
Totally.
Yeah.
Also, what I think is crazy is I'm all about kids of course need extra. Every human being has to move their body and do something, right?
Mhm.
But there were no toys for young boys that was like, get in shape, dude, right?
No. No.
There was none
Lift
of that.
some weights, man. Lift some weights. You'll be
Lift
cool.
some weights, man.
Everybody, I'll hang out with you. Let's pump some iron. Oh, do, do, do. It
Drink
comes with
some protein.
it comes with tube socks and some shorts, man. Get yourself a gold chain and be it. You're it. Blah. Like there was none of that.
No.
Here's a hammer, guys. Get to work and be a man. No,
Nope. Well, there's a lot of toy. I mean, ooh, we could unpack so
we had play
much.
kitchens. We had play
Uh-huh.
kitchens by the time we were 2 so we could learn how to do dishes and cook.
Easy bake oven.
I mean, and the
And let
thing
me
is,
tell you,
all of that,
I had
all
one of
of
those, and I also
I
used it
didn't.
all up in the first night.
Amazing.
I made like all 4 of those devil's food cakes, okay?
But all of those things were targeted to girls. It was not like nowadays
Yes.
some of those types of things exist, but it's gender has
It's
no
for anyone,
relevance
of
in that.
course,
Yes.
exactly.
But then it was targeted to girls because they were grooming us to be
Yes.
good wives
Yes.
and submissive silence.
Okay, and like the kitchen would always be in pink and things like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh man, that really gets my goat.
I mean, it damaged us. We have scar tissue from those
Yes.
kinds of things, for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I'm glad that it's not as prevalent these days, and also that I think young women these days are just not accepting it.
Yes. No, you're
They're
so
just
right.
like, "We celebrate who we are.
Mhm.
We're fine with it, and if you're not, then don't look."
Yes.
But whereas we
It's
were
true.
told, "Hide your arms, hide your belly, stay inside," like,
Yeah.
"Don't wear shorts. You have fat ankles." I can literally see the bones in my ankles. Well, can you though? Yes, I can knock on them. Anyway, oh boy.
It's so crazy.
You know what? I really feel like we could use a cleansing breath.
I need another one. I just did one.
You just did one naturally. Your body was like, I can't take anymore.
I really did.
You gave yourself a cleansing breath, and I turned myself into Lady Elaine Fairchild with embarrassment because of things that I said out my mouth. Oh my
I
God.
love that you
Okay.
remember her last name.
Yeah, for sure.
So good. So good.
Because I watched Mister Rogers religiously. I loved it, and
Me too.
my parents were very young, and they made fun of him, and I would cry. But my mom was 19 when she had me, and my dad in his early 20s. It totally makes sense why they would make fun of it, but I would cry.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Oh my
this
God.
this is a staple of our show, okay? We get out all
Mhm.
the angsty, we complain, we laugh, we giggle. Dana mostly says inappropriate things. Jessica laughs, then Alan texts her. That's kind of the way things work around here.
True
But
that.
we get all of that out. We take a deep breath in, blow out all of the stress and whatever just happened. And then we use the rest of the time on the show to fill up with goodness, happy stories,
Mhm.
giggles, and things we want to rave about and showcase. Charities, good news organizations, all that kind of stuff. So if you can scream it
Indeed.
out, I always recommend it. I wish someone would write to us and say, one day, Dana, I did scream it out. And you're right, it felt great. If you can do
I
it,
welcome
if
it.
not, I know. If not, please just take a second to breathe with us. I swear to God, you're going to feel better
Yes.
afterwards, okay?
You will.
So yes, you will. Take a deep breath in. Jessica, you better close your eyes. We found out last week Jessica's an open eye breather and kisser. It's upsetting. Wait, we have to start over. Okay, ready?
Mhm.
Take a deep breath in. And no, no, Jessica. I closed my eyes. I opened one eye, and Jessica was one eye staring at me. You're a creep.
I know. I
Oh,
can't
I
even
love
try
you
to
so
deny it.
much.
Can't even try to deny it.
You crack me up. Okay, well, we're going to go on into corners.
Let's let's do it.
I'm up first for corners. I have a what the what? I'm very excited about this. I didn't read this one because I had read the one that you're doing, your corner, and so I wanted
Uh-huh.
one of these to be kind of surprising for me. Um, and
Yes.
also the title of this really got me excited, so I wanted it to be let's discover it together, you guys.
Okay.
This is from the Business Insider. How academic and business of you. From businessinsider.com. This was written by Catherine Tangalakis Lippert and Marianne Guano. Archaeologists discovered a 17th century Polish vampire with a sickle across its neck meant to prevent a return from the dead. Right up my alley. Here we go. The skeletal remains of what may have been a female vampire were found in a 17th century Polish graveyard with a sickle across its neck to prevent the woman from rising from the dead. Professor
No.
Dariusz Polinsky from Nicholas Copernicus. That was the hardest word, Dana. Professor Professor Darius Polinsky from Nicholas Copernicus University headed up the archaeological dig that led to the discovery of the skeleton. This is a quote. The sickle was not laid flat but placed on the neck in such a way that if the deceased had tried to get up, most likely the head would have been cut off or injured. The remains discovered, that's crazy. The remains discovered in the village of Pien near Ostromenko, Poland, appeared to be of a young woman buried in the 17th century, according to a press release seen by Insider. Traces of a silk cap on her head suggested she was from a higher social status. Such a discovery, especially here in Poland, is astonishing, especially now, centuries later. Pure astonishment. A triangular padlock was placed around the big toe. Oh, this is fascinating. A triangular padlock was placed around the big toe on her left foot, an indicator that the people who buried the woman were concerned that she may rise from the grave, perhaps because they thought she was a vampire. The remains, which were discovered in August, are being further investigated by scientists. Researchers from the Institute of Archaeology at the University of Krakow will study DNA from the skeleton to learn more about the woman. Because now, from DNA, they can make a model of her. They can tell you what she looks like, what color her skin is, what color her eyes are, what color her hair
What?
was. It's so super crazy. I watch all of these videos on YouTube because I'm a maniac, and they
That's insane.
reconstruct from DNA. It's fascinating. Vampire burial rituals that evolved over time. The practice of vampire burials spanned Christian Europe from as early as the 14th century all the way to the 17th century. That's
Wow.
my area. Those are the centuries I enjoy.
Uh-huh.
Um, Matteo Barini, principal lecturer of the forensic anthropology department at the Liverpool John Moore University, told Insider. Outbreaks of vampires were often associated with times when people were dying from causes that could not be explained with the science of the time, like a pandemic or a mass poisoning. That's terrifying. People are getting sick and dying, and you're like, I hope nobody thinks I'm a vampire.
Okay.
These vampires start to hunt and kill family members first, then the neighbors, and then all the other village. This is the classical pattern of a disease that is contagious. They thought it was vampires. Barini discovered the remains of a woman in Venice who died in the 16th century, which he showed through careful scientific examination was a vampire burial site. The remains were found in a mass grave filled with victims of the plague. This body had a stone placed carefully in its mouth. The belief at the time was that people could become Noxickers. I don't know. I think it's a German or Polish word. Vampires that chewed through their shrouds and rose from the dead to bite the living and spread the plague around. Oh, so not only were they dead and vampires, but they were just spreading the plague for funsies. Later on, later on, as the lore evolved, people believed that vampires were rising from the dead and strangling people in the night. Not biting them? Why would they be like, I'm gonna wake up and go strangle some folks? Barini said this may be a way to explain the chest pain caused by the leading cause of death in Europe at the time, tuberculosis. Hmm. It's only in Victorian times that vampires were said to bite the neck and suck the blood. That's weird. I did not know that. Did you? That
No.
was a Victorian thing, Victorian times, that vampires were said to bite the neck and suck the blood. A trope that was used
Then
in
what did
books.
they do before then?
They just rose from the dead and went to, what did I just say? Strangle people and give them the plague. That's not as scary to me. It should be, but it doesn't seem like it would be.
No.
I mean, there's nothing cute about being strangled by a
Seems more
dead.
zombie-ish, no?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know.
Right?
The idea of sucking your blood is terrifying.
Yes.
So, Victorian times that vampires were said to bite the neck, a trope that was used in books at the time as sort of a metaphor of sex. Tell me how. I don't
I
understand
don't know.
that. Although I do know when you watch vampire movies, every time they get hungry or Dracula gets nearby, it gets very sexual, and you're always like,
I
why?
yes.
It's
I
something
don't
from
know.
Victorian times. It was a
It's very
metaphor of
primal.
sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I guess in Victorian times, they wouldn't talk about sex openly.
Mm-hmm.
So they created vampires. Barini said more research is needed to confirm that this was the burial of someone suspected to be a vampire. There were many superstitions surrounding death in Europe at the time, and not all of them had to do with vampires. Bodies have been found locked into their final resting place, nailed to the bottom of their graves, with stones weighing down their feet, or with thorns of roses on their graves. These were all ways to keep the body from rising up that didn't necessarily have to do with vampirism, he said. The sickle could mean something completely different. For instance, a 2015 paper looking at remains buried in Poland with sickles around various parts of the body reviewed cases in which historians suggested that the tools used in agriculture could just be a sign of social status. That's
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies that were clearly thought at risk of being vampires have been found with stakes through their heart, beheaded, burned, or stones in their mouth. I don't think I've ever heard the stone in the mouth. Have you?
No. Mm-mm.
The fact that the feet were locked in the graves is something well known, not necessarily for vampires, but for all the situations in which we had the fear that the person was coming back. I feel like that's not something we worry about so much these days.
Okay.
Like when someone we love passes, we're just like, oh my God, they're gone, and we grieve and stuff. But can you imagine back then, like you're so sad because you lost a loved one or a friend or whatever, and then you go, oh my God, what if they wake up tonight and come strangle me? That's terrible.
Did you ever see The Serpent and the Rainbow?
Of course, many, many times. At the time
That
when
movie
that came out,
scared the daylights out of me.
I sneak watched it because my Christian mama was
Yes.
not about to let me
We
watch
were
that.
forbade to watch anything that was
It was
horror or like
scary.
and it
It
was
was scary at
voodoo,
the
I
time.
believe.
Voodoo, yeah, and it was a tribe somewhere. Yeah, it
Man,
was
that
who was
movie
the main
scared the
who's the
shit
main
out of
actor
Bill
in that?
Pullman, I think.
It's somebody like that. Yeah, oh, I do like a Bill Pullman. I might have to revisit that movie, Jessica.
Absolutely not.
Well,
You know who will probably watch it with you?
hmm.
Alan.
I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm trying to
I just
our friend, our friend Thomas, he's my scary movie buddy.
mm-hmm.
So we're trying to go either see the Evil Dead Rise
You
or The Pope.
creeps.
There's two good scaries out right now, The
Yeah.
Pope
Well, why
and
don't you
Evil
guys
Dead
do a
Rise.
double feature and scare the crap out of each other? Cause not me, sister.
Ugh, I can't wait.
No can
It,
do.
I like it probably because it makes me feel alive, and most of the time I feel dead inside. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I've always liked scary things. It's always interested me since I was a kid.
Not me.
I know it's weird.
But I would do this. I was that kid who was too scared but was watching through like,
That's
you know.
hilarious.
Also, it's always about the noise. Like I'm telling you, if it was silent, I probably wouldn't be scared. It's the music, it's the sound effects, it's the
Yes.
silence. Sometimes
If
just the
I'm
sheer
being
silence.
honest, if I'm watching a scary movie by myself late at night and it's a real
Hmm.
scary part, I will watch it first with the volume very low, and then I will go back and
Uh-huh.
watch it again. I'll rewind a few seconds so
Oh
that it's
my
not
god,
as terrifying. Not
hilarious.
always, but sometimes. Like if Dan Tipton's working out of town for the night or has an overnight or something, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I gotta keep my wits about me because it's just me and the kid right now. So I'll
Does
do
he like
that.
scary?
Absolutely not. It's like the way
He
I feel
doesn't.
about farts is how
You
he
see me
feels about
scratching?
scaries. I mean, now that you say it, what's happening? Did you want me to see you scratching? I was just gonna keep talking.
I seriously feel so delirious.
I was just getting ready to say people are gonna think we're drunk. We're just not. It's just 10 o'clock at night. That's all. You're up next.
Man. I'm so sorry. Okay. This
Real
is
quick,
an
just hold on.
yes.
Before we move
Hmm.
on, did you want to explain to me why you wanted me to see you scratching?
No, I didn't want you to see it. I just was like kept going off camera because I couldn't reach. I was trying to do it with this pen and I was trying to be inconspicuous.
Then why
And
did
it
you
just didn't
sniff
work.
the skin? You were trying to be inconspicuous. Why did you ask?
I seriously almost just peed in my pants. Oh my
Oh
My
my
God.
god.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
This
Okay,
is gonna
I've
be
got hair in my
difficult.
mouth.
This is gonna be a difficult episode to edit.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. Let's I'm gonna try to focus here. This is an excuse me corner. This was sent to us from a listener. Whoa.
Mhm.
Just caught my hand. I caught my phone with one hand. I swear to God, we're not drunk, you guys.
Oh my
We are
god.
just seriously like slap happy.
Yes.
This was sent to us by a listener. Woman spent 500 days alone with no knowledge of what was going on in the world. I'm sure you're
Yeah.
wondering how that could be and why.
And when she did it, I saw this and it's mind blowing. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Read it.
Okay, here we are. Thanks. That only took an hour to pull up this article from the Washington Post. Thank you, Victoria Bissett. This is very recent. This just happened last week. A Spanish woman finally emerged from a cave
Hmm.
following a solo challenge lasting more than 500 days.
That's over a
Beatrice,
year. Over a year.
okay, a year and a half
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah.
Beatrice Flamini left the surface to live 230 feet underground in November 2021 as part of a project that also gave scientists and psychologists the chance to investigate the impact of living alone underground for a long time, including the effect on her circadian rhythm.
Mhm.
With no human contact or internet access.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And this, by the way, if you noticed the date, this is mid
Uh huh.
pandemic. Like there was a
Yep.
lot going on. Yeah.
Yes. Flamini remained completely unaware of major news events, including Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know what happened in the world. After returning to the surface in Granada in the south of Spain, she said. While Spanish media reported that Flamini's feat set a new world record for the amount of time spent underground, this could not immediately be confirmed. She was briefly forced to halt the challenge for 8 days after about 300 days due to a technical issue, but stayed alone in a tent without human contact during that time.
Ugh.
Flamini, who was 48 when she entered, and is now 50, spent her days reading, writing, drawing, and knitting, and documenting her progress with 2 GoPro cameras. Ooh, were they filming her the whole time? Oi, I wouldn't want that. I would not want that.
I bet she was
That
filming herself
maybe,
so that
or at
because
like
they don't want to
certain
watch her.
times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope so. A team delivered food and took away garbage without ever crossing paths with her. She explained that she stopped trying to count how long she had been in the cave after a certain amount of time. She spent
Oh,
most of her days in silence, speaking only when recording videos, and experienced auditory hallucinations.
yeah. That's scary.
It's not that time passes more quickly or slowly, she said. It's that time doesn't pass because it's always 4 in the morning. That would make me
Uh,
go mad. That's like being in solitary confinement with
yeah.
no light,
Yeah.
no fresh air, no interaction.
Well, even when
Thinking
you're
that,
in Vegas, if you're in Vegas for too long because they keep the light the same, you can't tell
yes.
what time it is.
And then
That
you're like,
drives me
oh my God, it's
crazy.
4 in the morning.
I thought it was 2
Yes,
p.m. Yes. Yeah.
totally. So it says she thought that only about 160 or 170 days had passed and was surprised when the team came to find her at the end of the experiment. I thought they came
Wow.
down to tell me I had to leave because something had happened on the outside. Despite the challenges, including an invasion of flies, nope.
Nope. Nope.
She's appeared to enjoy her experience. When asked by a journalist if she'd ever considered giving up, she replied no. In fact, I didn't want to leave.
You don't miss human interaction? Like, don't get me wrong. I will hidey hole in my house for weeks, but there comes a point
Of
where,
course.
I do this with you. That's connection. I have my
Yes.
husband, my son. I text with people. I call people, whatever. So even if
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
yes.
see anybody in a week, I'm
Of
still
course.
connecting with other humans. I can't fathom what that would be
You're
like. I
also at
would,
ground level.
yes, thankfully. Yes.
Ah,
It's just a crazy, I mean, they did it for science. I'm curious to see what comes out of that study.
I know.
But when I was reading it, I was like, can you imagine, like, you go in, you're 48, you come out and you're, what did she say, 50?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's a
weird.
chunk of your life. As it is with COVID, I feel like we were robbed of a chunk
Mm-hmm.
of our lives. But
Mm-hmm.
just then, which I guess it was during the same time, but to do it alone, can you imagine going through the fear of COVID alone?
No. I
No,
also know how long when the pandemic started that a week felt.
felt.
So I
Yeah.
cannot imagine even 1 week of being in complete solitary.
And darkness besides false light.
Darkness. It's different if you're like, you know what? I'm going to go on a trip by myself. But again, you're alone, but you're out, you're walking in nature, or
And
you're on a
you're going
boat
back
or
to your
whatever.
regular and you're going
Yes.
back to your regular life.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So
good
weird.
good for her. In the name of science, I guess, huh?
Right?
Oh. All right, well, I'm going to take us on into our raves. Are you ready? Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Before we move into raves, cuz
Oh,
we made this
yes.
outline before this
Mm-hmm.
happened. We have a corrections corner. What are you laughing at? We do.
I know. Let's hear it.
So, one of our listeners told me that the Japanese beetles that we have out here, like probably what I was saying, it's hard to tell the difference between Japanese
Mm-hmm.
beetles and June bugs. And I said maybe they're the same thing because we called them June bugs in Springfield back in Missouri because that's
Mm-hmm.
when they came, was in June. However, our listener sent me photos
Exactly.
and some screenshots of articles. June bugs are apparently way, way bigger and they're usually brown. They
Mm-hmm.
can be shiny and green, but they're usually brown. So
Yes.
I'm correcting myself there. Anyway, I wanted to make that clear before we moved on. There is a
Thank you.
distinction between them.
There
And this
absolutely
listener would know
is.
because this listener has animals and stuff and from East Coast and stuff, so they know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep saying this listener. It's Danielle. I mean, I don't nobody's going to go stalking her because I named her. I'm
I
going to find
know.
a
We
Danielle
were
on the East Coast.
we were so like gentle about it for years. We still are where we're like, should we say this listener's name? Like
I
somebody
know.
knows who Susie is in
Alabama.
Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yes, or
Right?
Montgomery, Alabama, right? It's like, what?
We're like, we're just protecting their privacy.
Oh my God, y'all. We will always protect you. We always have you in mind.
Yes. Are we ready to
Oh
move on
boy.
into the best part of
Yes,
our
let's
show?
do it.
Okay,
Let's
so
do it.
my rave, we have talked about this and raved about this before, but it is the
Mm-hmm.
time of year that I wanted to bring it up
Mm-hmm.
again. So I am raving about the Gentle Barn. There is a
Oh, I love
location,
them.
so amazing. There's a location here in California. There's also a location in St. Louis, Missouri. And
Mm-hmm.
how the St. Louis, Missouri faction started was because of the St. Louis Six. And if you're not
Mm-hmm.
familiar with that, there were six cows that escaped slaughter, and the Gentle Barn took them in. They still live there to this day. They're very happy. If you want to follow them on Instagram, it is so joyful. They'll go
Mm-hmm.
around to all the animals, and like one day they'll say, how our animals respond to their names. And they'll just go around and be like, Keith, Amber, like, and the animals will turn, and it's
It's
just
so cute.
precious. The Gentle Barn is just one of the most amazing,
Magical places. I've been
so
there. It's
great.
magic.
So, with your support, we work each day to create a gentler world by rescuing animals, giving them rehabilitation and sanctuary at the Gentle Barn, and then hosting people looking for hope and opening people's hearts to intelligence, affection, and the magic of animals. So, they have like you can go do cow hug therapy with their cows and you can just lay with
Mm-hmm.
them and hug them, and they're so sweet. I mean, it's great. So, here's the reason I bring it up, you all help fund our critical animal needs. Spring is the most important time for animal care at the Gentle Barn, and it's also our most biggest hay delivery season. The cows and
Mm-hmm.
pigs need hoof trimming. The horses and donkeys need dental care. The sheep need gentle shearing. The llamas and alpacas need haircuts. The horses and the cows need special fly masks. And everyone who needs it gets deworming. So you can visit the Gentle Barn. You can donate this time of year. They really need it, y'all. Those things are really important for these animals. They have to keep their hooves trimmed. It's all
Mm-hmm.
medical things that they're taking good care of these animals, and this is an
Mm-hmm.
expensive time of year. So if you have the ability, please, they've got private tours. You can do cow hug therapy. You can sponsor an animal. They also sell at at both locations, I think, vegan sweet treats. So you can buy
Mm-hmm.
some treats while you're there and they're vegan. You can also learn how to start and continue choosing a plant based diet with easy, delicious vegan recipes and stories from J.L. Weiner, vegan chef and co founder of the Gentle Barn. He's got a program called My Gentle Kitchen if you want to learn how to become
Mm-hmm.
vegetarian or vegan. They have a spotlight sponsor of the month. So it looks like for the month of April, Sun Corella will be at the Gentle Barn in California, Tennessee, and Missouri. They have a third location in Tennessee.
I was just gonna say they also have one in Tennessee. It's right outside of Knoxville.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
You have the chance to visit. They have a store, so you can buy Gentle Barn merch, and that also helps fund them. You can find that
I
on their
have a
website.
mug
Do you
of Jewel the
really?
peacock, my favorite animal there,
Oh,
the peacock.
you can go to their website. They tell you how to donate. They tell you how to visit. They tell you all about all their animals. Just please check them
Mm-hmm.
out. Gentlebarn.org.
It's the best.
They've been rescuing animals since 1999, inspiring kindness and compassion towards animals, our planet, and each other. I love it. I love it. I love it. They need our help this
It's
time of year. If you got anything you can spare, it goes to something very good. And not only is it giving to these animals, it's also giving back to the communities where they're located because anybody you talk to here in California, everybody goes, oh, the Gentle Barn.
Yep.
Oh, the Gentle Barn. And I'm sure it's the same way in St. Louis and Tennessee. So they're
Yes.
very, very special. You can follow them on all their socials. Again, that's gentlebarn.org.
They also work with at risk youth, and my dad and I
Yes.
were talking about this very thing today. I am such a huge proponent, so is Dana, of people learning viable skills just in general,
Yes.
but
Yes.
also at risk youth, because I know they do this a lot in certain areas that are fortunate enough to have programs through the prison system where
Mm.
people then learn animal husbandry or how to train a
Yes.
service dog and things like that. It is a win-win for everyone and they benefit. And a lot of these kids, once they get involved with having to care for an animal and being responsible for it and things like that, it can really turn people around. It gives them a
100%.
purpose. It
It
can
gives them
crack open a
purpose.
very cold heart to loving something.
It
And you
teaches
know it.
compassion. It teaches
Yes.
compassion. When I got pregnant, Dan was a little worried about pets, and he said to the pediatrician, "We've got 2 cats,
Mhm.
is there anything we
Mhm.
need to worry about?" Which I always had cats, so I wasn't worried about it. But the pediatrician actually said, "No, it's so wonderful. You'll have a kind and compassionate child."
Mhm.
And we do. I mean, he's so sweet,
Yeah,
and he's
and
so
he
gentle
loves
with
animals,
animals, and
exactly.
animals love him. If you don't care, do you care if I read the founder's message real quick? Because it's just so
Please.
lovely. We live in a
Yes.
concrete, violent, noisy, high tech, busy world. We have lost our connection to animals, to nature, and most of all to ourselves. Animals are living lives of torment from being beginning to end. Their cries are unheard. Their pain is unseen, and they are suffering. The rate of heart disease, cancer, obesity, and diabetes has never been higher. The rainforests are being destroyed. We're in a global drought. We are polluting our air, and species go extinct every day. But by having reverence for all life and by reconnecting with Mother Earth, we can change all of that. At the Gentle Barn, we stand up for the innocent. We help animals and children alike remember that they matter. We open people's hearts to the connection with nature. We open people's minds to what is happening around us, and we inspire people to be an integral part of the solution Through the stories and interactions with our animals, we can raise future generations to have reverence for all life, protect our planet, live good, healthy, happy lives, and we will all be closer to having peace on Earth. We can't do this work without you and are so grateful for your support. Enjoy the website and check back with us from time to time to see what's new. The best way to help is by making a donation, sponsoring an animal, or sponsoring a group of school kids or undeserved youth to come to the Gentle Barn. Thank you so much for your support. With gratitude, Ellie and Jay. I'll show you a
Aw.
picture of them. They're so cute. And she, if you ever look her up, if you follow them and you look her up and hear her story about what led her to this, it's really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really wonderful. It was
Yeah.
healing for her. There was
Mm-hmm.
some trauma and things, and it just it was magical for her and what she's been able to do for these animals and how she's probably changed people's ideas of, I've spoken many times about, when animals go to slaughter, they arrive crying, they
Mm-hmm.
smell the blood, they hear the screams, they know these are sentient animals. And so a lot of the Gentle Barn animals are rescues from slaughterhouses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, not to get depressing because it's a beautiful thing. Check them out, gentlebarn.org.
Yes. Thank you, Dana.
Yeah.
Um, my rave this week is a heavy one.
Okay.
But I thought this was good timing because I've been, as you know, I watch a lot of PBS and
Yes. I
PBS.
love PBS. Ooh, I have it on
It's the
my
best.
iPad even.
Yeah, me too. So PBS always has different historical specials and has quite a few things that they've done over the years about the Holocaust. But they have been playing a lot of specials over the last week because it was just Yom HaShoah, which is Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Mhm.
So, as we all know, again, we always say our listeners are very like minded with us. History can, does, and will repeat itself. So, one of the things you hear about the Holocaust is never forget. Uh, it's not so that people can be like, do you understand what happened to us? So that we can't ever get over it. It's so that you don't forget, so that hopefully it doesn't happen again. We know the
Yes.
horrors that have continued to happen over the years. My mom's mother, my grandma Celia, was in Russia, or rather, actually, now what we now call Ukraine and Kiev.
Mhm.
It's not part of Russia anymore. But at the time, where they were, she had an older brother and she was one of several children, and they were coming through and rounding up Jews. So my mom's mother was put on a ship, ended up in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Her sister, my Aunt Becky, ended up in Cape Town, South Africa, and their brother, my Uncle Morris, went to a concentration camp. They were only sending perfect children. You could not have anything wrong with you. And my Uncle Morris had astigmatism. So that prevented him from being shipped out when they were still getting children out. He survived. He met
Oh
his
my
wife
god.
there, married. His wife, my great aunt Ina, lived until 96 or something,
Oh
like some
my god.
insane amount of time. I remember seeing his tattoo on his arm when I was little, like so distinctly. We were sitting on their porch. He was eating a peach, and I remember seeing his arm and just staring because I knew what it was, but like seeing that in person was
His
very
number. Yeah.
powerful, even
Oh,
as a young kid.
yeah.
So, anyways, the happy ending to that story, I can't believe I just said that, is my grandmother was reunited with her sister Becky and my uncle Morris years later through the Federation. After the war, they started connecting people around the world. So they did reunite. And my Aunt Becky used to come every year to visit in Halifax, Nova Scotia. She came from South Africa. I remember her accent so vividly, all of that. And my Uncle Morris ended up moving there and living in the same town as my grandma Celia. So,
Wow.
anyways, that's just a little tidbit of my personal connection and being Jewish. But as we know, there were 6 million Jews killed, but also Catholics, gypsies, homosexuals. The list goes
Homosexuals.
on and on and on and
Yes.
on.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring this up again because it was just Yom HaShoah. But in LA, we have the Museum of Tolerance, also known as the Simon Wiesenthal Center. If you have not ever heard of him, a remarkable man. He literally dedicated every minute of his life to trying to hunt down Nazis,
Yes.
bring people to accountability and
Justice.
whatnot, and started this incredible museum. There is an Anne Frank exhibit there, which I believe is permanent. There's obviously things regarding her life that probably make the rounds with museums, but there is an Anne Frank collection there, and I imagine it's permanent because I saw it a few years ago and it's still there. Part of why I'm bringing this up is if you are in the Los Angeles area, I highly encourage you to go check out the museum. You can also go and listen to a living survivor talk and tell their story. If you have never heard a Holocaust survivor speak, I guarantee you, it'll sit with you and be a very powerful experience. I
Yes.
also noticed for many of you who do not live in Los Angeles, they have it where you can do that through their website and watch somebody speak through Zoom or whatever they're using, but you can do it online. So you can
Wow.
be a part of when because if you go to the museum, somebody walks into the room and talks live. So it's really
Wow.
incredible. I highly recommend it. Just to add a little button to that, there is a graphic novel that was done based on Anne Frank, and it was just banned in school in Florida.
In Florida.
So we
Yeah.
all know what's going on with book banning.
Yes.
We cannot forget
No.
history. The Diary
No.
of Anne Frank is one of the most quintessential things that I truly think everyone has to read. I think it should be
It's
required
it was
reading. There's a lot
required
of books I
reading
think
where when
should
I
be
went to school.
required,
When I went to
right?
school, it was required, and God, I'm
Yep,
so glad.
right?
I mean, it's a painful story, but it's important.
Yes.
And also, I
And
wanted to say, if you are in the LA area, also there is a
mhm,
Holocaust exhibit at the Reagan National Library as well, right now.
there sure is.
Yeah.
You're right. That is, and actually, that's near the General Barn,
Is it
as it
really?
happens.
You know
Yeah,
what's
they're
so
both in Simi
interesting?
Valley.
I had seen that and I really would like to go. And I
Hmm.
thought, oh, I should ask Jessica if she wants to go. But I was like, is that a weird thing to be like?
I
I don't,
know it's. Yeah, I know how you think it would be weird to see. Yes, I'm definitely interested in
I
going.
would love to go. Yeah.
Again, it's. I mean, whatever. We can. I'll just start putting my foot in my mouth. Yes,
Well,
there are
listen,
things that are horrifying, but we need to
we
see.
cannot forget. We can, and especially, again, I'll say we're not a political podcast, but
Hmm.
the shape that our country is in right now and the things
Hmm.
that are happening to attack people's just basic human rights, and the
Yes.
racism and the hate crimes and the gun violence that is happening in our country. I saw someone on the internet said the United States is a first world country with third world problems. I would
Yes.
never go there. It's too dangerous. And it's like, yeah, you're not wrong. And so, even more so for us here in the United States in this
Yes.
moment right now, you need to educate yourselves because we are following the exact footsteps that these people did. And how we don't
That's
see
right.
it and fight it is beyond me, but go educate yourself. Look at the build
Yes.
up to it. Look at how Germans turned their heads even when they didn't agree with it. See how all of
Hmm.
this goes. Get this knowledge so that we can band together and try to prevent this
Hmm.
from happening again because our
Yes.
country's going crazy. This is the United. I
Yes.
don't know what the rest of the world is like. Everybody's got their problems, but we have major issues here. So
Hmm.
please be informed. Please be informed. Thank you
Absolutely.
for sharing that. Thank you for sharing, Jessica.
For sure. You can find their website at the museumoftolerance.com. I pulled a few clips here to read. Simon Wiesenthal, a survivor of the Nazi death camps, dedicated his life to documenting the crimes of the Holocaust and to hunting down the perpetrators still at large. When history looks back, Wiesenthal explained, I want people to know the Nazis weren't able to kill millions of people and get away with it. His work stands as a reminder and a warning for future generations. Very few of the prisoners survived the westward trek through Plasgau, Grossrosen, and Buchenwald, which ended at Mauthausen in Upper Austria. Weighing less than 100 pounds and lying helplessly in the barracks where the stench was so strong that even hard-boiled SS guards would not enter, Wiesenthal was barely alive when Mauthausen was liberated by the 11th Armored Division of the 3rd U.S. Army on May 5, 1945. As soon as his health was sufficiently restored, Wiesenthal began gathering and preparing evidence on Nazi atrocities for the War Crimes section of the United States Army. After the war, he also worked for the Army's Office of Strategic Services and Counterintelligence Corps and headed the Jewish Central Committee of the United States Zone of Austria, a relief and welfare organization. Late in
Wow.
1945, he and his wife, each of whom had believed the other to be dead, were reunited, and in 1946, their daughter Pauline was born. Take a breathtaking journey through dramatic events in 20th century history, learn what leads people to hate, and how extraordinary people have changed the world one extraordinary action at a time. Today, the public has come to view the Museum of Tolerance not only as a symbol of society's quest to live peacefully together, but also as an important resource on how to achieve that goal. So, definitely, I don't know what else to say about it. I will give you a recommendation of a book. It is a short book. Dare I say that it's a quick read, but it is, and you will not be able to put it down. Also, you may have read it as a child. If you have not read anything of the Holocaust or that was written during that time, check out the Diary of Anne Frank, but also Night by Elie Wiesel.
I've not read that.
Oh, wow. I remember I read it on a school trip and I don't think I took my nose out of the book. I read it cover to cover. I think it's 100 pages.
What's it called?
Night, Night, by Elie Wiesel. Incredible, really required reading, I should say.
Important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing
So
that.
sorry to be a downer, but
It's not
I
a
think
downer.
it's important.
We have to know so that we aren't living in this downer again, because there are
Correct.
hate crimes being committed. I mean, in the green room dump, Jessica and I were
We were
saying
talking about it.
a 13-year-old shot in the head, a cheerleader killed for accidentally getting in the wrong car, like 2 children,
It's
and then
insane.
also the people that went down the wrong driveway and killed that 20-year-old girl. And all of these people are saying it was self-defense, except that none of these children had weapons.
Yes.
You're scared, you're a grown-ass adult and you're terrified of a child who's unarmed? No, we
Mm-hmm.
have a violence problem here, and that's
Yep.
just stepping into the patterns of atrocity.
Yes.
So, thank you for sharing, Jessica. It's
Absolutely.
heavy, but it's not depressing.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we need
Yes.
to know so that we don't repeat history.
Yes.
100%, because we
Mm-hmm.
are well on the path to repeating
Yes.
history.
Yes.
The civil rights
Well,
violations, human rights
we have
violations,
Putin. We have Putin trying to make his own people believe that people in Ukraine are Nazis.
yeah. Hooey! Well, that's why we have this podcast, because we want to put some
That's
goodness
right.
into the world. We want to put
That's right.
some goodness. We want to make you aware of all the ways that you can help. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always require money. This is literally just informing yourself.
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming it's free on their website to listen to a survivor speak.
You know what? I don't know about that,
Hmm,
but maybe.
maybe. But you can find stuff like that on YouTube. I've watched tons of documentaries with survivor
The
stories.
Shoah Foundation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Dude, it's hard to watch. It is, and it should be. And that's
Mhm.
why we need to learn from it. So,
Exactly.
anyway, Jessica,
Yes.
I think that's our
Dana,
show.
I
I think
think
that's
it
our show.
is.
Do you want to tell everybody how to get a hold of us?
Yes, please find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves Podcast, on TikTok at the Rants and Raves P, YouTube, the Rants and Raves Podcast. You can send us an email at the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com, or go to the contact button on our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com.
Yay!
Thank you, Dana.
Also, I will add,
Mhm.
just because we haven't mentioned it in a while, if you're a regular listener and you've never taken the time to rate us on Apple Podcasts, if you wouldn't mind doing that,
Yes.
you don't even have to write anything. You can just choose stars. And if you would choose 5 and not be like, well, I'm choosing 4 because sometimes Dana can't get her shit together and get it out, like just say 5. It just helps us. That's all. And I say it helps us get reach a further reach so that more people can find
Yes,
us. And like
exactly.
Jessica and I, we don't raise funds to do any of this. We're not in this to become rich. We both take from our
Mhm.
own pockets to produce this and
Yes.
keep it going. So if you could just give us 5 stars, man, we'd love it. Hopefully get a few more listeners and put some more goodness into the world. Um,
Indeed.
Jessica, is there anything you're watching or you need to share before we head out?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I have anything either, to be honest.
I will tell you
Um,
this. I just bought a new book. I'll report back next week. It's called 52 Ways to Walk. So it's like a suggested walk or thing to do while walking, one per week for every week of the
oh,
year. You know, I love my rage walking. So I picked it up and we'll see how it goes.
all right. Well, then I will add to it that I just got a new book. I'm looking for the title here: The Secret Life of Pronouns. It is so that I can analyze how you speak to me and see how you're feeling. It's just an extension of my body language obsession right now.
Oh,
But word choice, people's word choice will often tell on them if they are lying. So,
sure.
anyway,
Ooh,
that's my light
interesting.
reading right now. And
I like it.
when I say read, I mean someone else reads it to me over my phone through Audible.
Hey,
But
that's
like I can
okay.
get dishes done, I can fold the laundry and I can listen.
Yes.
So,
I
anyway,
love it.
well, Jessica, I love you very much. What a strange
I
episode. We had
love
lots of
you.
laughs. We
I
had some
know.
serious stuff this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty interesting show this week, if I do say so myself. I did bring a point to ponder. I always like to bring us something to think about.
Nice.
Sometimes they're poignant. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, I'm telling you, my point to ponder, it's a little longer. It was 7 truths you need to hear. Go back and listen to them if you didn't catch it. They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're
It
pretty good.
is.
This week I brought one not so serious. We love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your
Mm-hmm.
support always. Jessica and I have been having to deal with analytics and things like that lately
Mm-hmm.
as we're getting further and further into video. And I just got to say, like, all you men out there listening to us, we had no idea. Welcome.
Thank you.
Um,
Yes. Thank you.
like,
Thank you.
a larger percentage of men listen to us than women right now. It hasn't always been that
Mm-hmm.
way. So it's interesting
Yeah.
to me. We
Indeed.
really appreciate you guys. We'll be back next Tuesday. Jessica, did you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, in fact, I'll ask you. Do you know what another term for your nieces and nephews would be? Like a term if you were speaking of nieces and nephews as a group?
No.
Well, let me tell you. Nibblings. So the next
I
time
don't
you see
like
your
it.
nieces and nephew, don't tell me you don't like that because you sent a horror show of a birthday video to your nephew. If you haven't seen that, get on Instagram, y'all. She sent that to me and I said, "Can I please post this? It's the most unacceptable, inappropriate. What if can you imagine you're a teenager and your Auntie Jessica sends you a horror show clown video with a dead gnome bleeding from his head going,
Were you
"Oh, look,
genuinely horrified?
I mean, I loved it because I'm Dana, but the world should be horrified." All right, we'll be back next week. Love you, lady.
Love ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.